Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. I am giving a review on Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. This movie was actually very good. And yes, I know it is a Disney movie, and I have a general distaste for this newer generation of Disney movies. But I was able to watch this without giving money to it. That being said, and all that out of the way, objectively, I would give this movie a 3.5. There are bits and pieces that could have done better, a little bit of writing that could have been improved. The score was very good. Now, I actually liked the original Maleficent movie with Angelina Jolie. That movie was very well done as well. I gave that movie a 4 out of 5, but that was way before my channel even started. Now, this movie basically picks up and how there was a lie of a legend spread about Maleficent, making her the villain, and how people were still afraid of her. So they explained that in the beginning, where Aurora's older narrative self explains it. And everybody knows that she's going to get married to Philip and whatnot. And Maleficent is at first not willing to accept it. Obviously, for obvious reasons. She was scorned in the first movie. Now, this movie has some twists and whatnot. I actually liked them. But I was also able to predict the movie, or certain aspects of it. It's like, okay, or spoilers ahead, folks. Now, the king of this Ulstead kingdom falls ill during the proposed union dinner between Aurora and Philip. Michelle Pfeiffer's character is basically, she's a purist. She hates anything that's not human. And she wants to get rid of the fairies. And she provokes Maleficent purposefully. And Maleficent literally, she actually tries to restrain herself. She actually tries to keep herself in check. But the queen just keeps on pushing. And so she finally gets sick and tired of it. And she uses the opportunity to take the needle from the spindle wheel that Aurora pricked her finger on, and she uses it to prick her husband, the king, to frame Maleficent for, or basically to claim that she cursed the king. Now, in a way, she actually did, because she was the one that created the curse of that spinning wheel. Now, but directly she did not. So there's also this red-headed character that is the queen's second in command, so to speak. And she shoots Maleficent when Maleficent flies off, and that's when the Dark Fae find her. And I actually like the idea of the Dark Fae. The way that they have it to where she is a direct descendant to the Phoenix, and how the Phoenix is a creator of the Fae, or basically the progenitor of the Fae, the Dark Fae. That was interesting. And it gives an interesting twist of the origin of Maleficent's power. Because as people know, Phoenixes can be, or they're the embodiment of death and destruction, or of death and rebirth. And you notice in the first movie and in this movie that Maleficent has both restorative and destructive power. You just don't know where it came from originally. Everybody says she's a witch, everybody says this and that. But now with this interesting twist of how a phoenix, which is also birth and death and rebirth, having that woven in, it is pretty interesting. And I like the phoenix, believe me, I love the phoenix mythology. So it is an interesting twist. I also like how they showed Maleficent becoming a phoenix. That was actually very interesting in itself. That scene, like I said, folks, spoilers. I honestly enjoyed the whole scene. Now, one thing subjectively, I give this movie 4 out of 5 subjectively, because there was a couple things that I would have done a little bit different, but overall it was enjoyable. It kept me engaged. That is one of the main things. If a movie can keep me engaged after the first 5 minutes, this movie will get most likely a high score. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. I mean, I tried watching Onward, and after 5 minutes I was bored to tears. But anyway, back to Maleficent 2. This movie kept me engaged, and overall, I liked it. But like I said, there was a couple of things that I could have done different, or I would have done different. But overall, this movie was pretty solid. So yeah, objectively, it is a 3.5 because of the predictable factor. If it becomes predictable, it will get a lower objective score, in my opinion, or for me. And it has nothing to do with opinion. It just, if the story is predictable, it lowers the quality. And that's not opinion, that's just fact. So, yes, 3.5 objective. That's still 70 out of 100. That's a passing grade. Now, for the subjective, 4 out of 5. That's 80 out of 10, or out of 100. And moviegoer, I'll give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's entertaining, it's great, it's fun. And I didn't see any agenda in this movie. I really didn't. So all the scores that they gave, 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't understand why they would have given it. And I am being fair, folks. As much as I do not like Disney, this movie was not as bad as it could, or as they have been throwing out recently, with all the identity politics and whatnot. I didn't really see an agenda in this movie. There wasn't any male man bashing. There wasn't any gay agenda. There wasn't any of that. This movie was done right. It pushed the story, not an agenda. Anyway, folks, that is my official review for Maleficent 2, Mistress of Evil. Disney, if you could do this more often, I might actually not be as critical. Because by creating better content, like this movie, for instance, and, in my opinion, Call of the Wild was also very good, go back to that kind of storytelling. Don't push agendas. Don't worry about representation. When it goes slowly, or when it flows organically, smoothly, without forcing it, that's where you will bring people back. I can't say the same about your corporate up tops, but still, when it comes to your movies, I can semi-support your good storytelling. Anyway, that is the video, folks. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts if you have seen this movie. Let me know if you liked it, if you hated it, what you thought of it. Did you see an agenda in it that I didn't? Let me know all your thoughts. And if you have a different opinion, feel free to share. If you are kind, I will engage. If you are outright rude, I will ignore your comment outright. Anyway, folks, that's all for today. Remember, stay humble. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. I'll catch you all on the next one.